Thank you very much, Dest. Usually XRP from Africa is catching the audio not being turned on. I've got three different things here that turns the audio on or off, and it's always one of them that is turned off. So today is November the 5th, 2018, and the question is, are we in for another crypto bull run now in 2018, or is it going to put itself off till 2019? Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now. I've got the candlesticks showing the price of Bitcoin on BitMEX, and in the background is the candlesticks for Bitfinex. I mean the area chart for Bitfinex. No, so we've got two different chat things going on. We got crypto destments, and we've got two different places where it's being streamed. It's being streamed in the live stream and in the events stream. So I'll keep going, but at least I learned that for next time. Right now the chats are only coming up from the live stream and not from the event stream. So I will do better on the next one yet. Each time there are fewer mistakes. So what I'm doing this time is doing some more analysis. I was checking through today and I was really digging deep into everything so that I could find out if this is going to be the bull market coming up now or is it going to be later. So what I was doing is I was going into the massive bull market study that I did here, where I did the screenshots of the bull run from March to July of 2017, and I did screenshots of the bull run from December and January recently, and the little bull run we had in April and May that was kind of a fake out. Everyone was getting excited about it, but it didn't really turn into anything. So I did these big studies, and I went through and I did the back testing on it, and I took screenshots of all of the different markets so that I could get that pattern recognition in my mind. And then today I was doing a little bit deeper research, and so I pulled up a couple of these examples. Let me go back here. And I pulled up these examples of the markets that were doing more than 10 times in value. So if you go from 1 Bitcoin to 10 Bitcoin, it's actually a 900% gain. Even though it's gone up 10 times. I don't know, I did the calculator and it says 900% gain. So if we went from 25 coins, 25 Satoshi to 250 Satoshi, that's 10 times value, but it's 900% gain. And I did these over and over again, tested a few of them out. And we know that in 2017, BitShares went up more than 2,400%. Digibyte went up more than 4,200%. Library credits went up more than 1,000%. But this, when I look at these charts and I pull them up, so here we are looking at BitShares. Our entry price was back in back here March 23rd of 2017. Then our exit was over here on July 7th. And so you could have had a much greater profit than the 2,400% gain, maybe 3,000, 4,000% if you would have hit this top just perfectly. But I was assuming that I waited till after the 1, 2, 3 top formation and the moving averages crossed over, just to be safe in the back testing to get an idea of what's going on. So in addition to looking at the charts, then I was wondering to myself, was there something in the coin market cap that was revealing that the bull market was actually coming? And I also want to point out that, well, let's go over and take a look at it. So here's the BitShares coin market cap, and you can see here that I've zoomed in to a very little strip of time, right from January, February, and March of 2017, before the big bull run started. So we can see the green price is the price of BitShares in US dollar. The light blue is the coin market cap, and the yellow is the price in Bitcoin. And we also see the volume down here below, where there was an enormous pickup in volume before the price really took up. And then as we pull this chart along to see what happened to the coin market cap and the price, so we see that what looked like an enormous uptick in volume here in March. Then volume slowed down, and then there was even more volume came in May and June before prices really took off. So if we are just at the beginning of a bull market now, and we look at this as an idea of what might come, then we can expect that in November, we'll see some good volume of trades and the prices will move a little bit. Then things should fade off through December and January, and it won't be till middle of January or February, if we get the same pattern going on here, before we see the really big moves coming in. So of course you want to position yourself now, and then you want to just wait so that you can catch all those big moves. So this is one of the items that what was giving me ideas. So let's look at another one. This is Digibyte chart, and we see the entry price was on March 24th, and we could have done, I don't know, 6,000% gain. Insane, absolutely crazy levels. And then after it came back down, made the 1, 2, 3 top formation, and the moving averages crossed over, an obvious exit point there. And from here to there was 4,200% gain. Crazy. So what happened in the coin market cap of Digibyte? So we here see December, January, February, March of 2017, a very similar pattern where prices were coming down. They made a bottom formation. Then we saw some big kicks of volume of trading coming in. And then if we stretch this out so that we get that actual bull move, now the volume in March actually is flatline. You can't even see it. It looked like a big kick in volume. But after that big kick in volume in March, prices then kind of cooled down and just went sideways a little bit before we had the real waves of huge, insane volume going in to kick those prices all the way up to those levels. And so if we are coming into a bull market here in 2018, I don't think the real wave of it is going to hit us until 2019. So it is the time to get prepared. It is the time to take up positions, and then wait is the hardest part, is to sit and wait for this to go sideways and then the big volume to come in. So let's take a look at another one. That's Digibyte. Let's take a look at the next one in the chart. So now what I'm doing is I'm going down this chart, looking at these ones that went massive. So 2,400%, 4,200%. Now library credits went up 1,000% at that time of the year. So here's what library credits did. Again, March 20th, always near the same day when the bull market starts, all of the cryptos start. And this was a more gradual rise before the kickoff in June to the highs that it reached. And again, I waited till after the top formation, the moving average crossover, to call this a profit-taking position. And now if we go to the back here to look at the coin market cap, this had a pre-pump in January, and then things came all the way back through February and into March. So if this is the pattern that we're coming up to now, then we can expect some moves in November, and then things will cool off for December and into January before February and March, before they start to take off in 2019, if we're following the same pattern. So if I stretch this out now to see what actually happened afterwards, look at these little ticks. They looked like they were big back in January and February, and the volume looked good in March, but now it's flatlined compared to what actually happened later. So I do think it is time to get prepared and get positioned, but it's also important to get in mind that it's going to be good to be patient. Take a position and don't expect results right away. So this was the pre-pump in January, then in February, then in March we had more of a pump, and it went sideways for April, and then it started to warm up in May, and it wasn't till June that we hit the top. So if we take those 6 months from where we are now, November, December, January, February, March, April, we could expect that many months before the real big moves in these pumps come in, if we're following the same pattern that we saw last time for library credits. So then the next one in our list was NXT. And March 14th to July 7th, we saw the big run up from here, the bottom formation, the run up, pull back, and then after the top formation with the moving averages, this is how I did my back testing. It was a little bit, I don't want to say, yeah, I bought at the bottom and I sold at the very top. That's unrealistic. It's completely lucky. But this is very realistic to say that when these moving averages cross over after a top formation, sell your positions. So now let's take a look at what happened to NXT. So I zoomed back into the November, December, January, we saw some excitement, and then things came all the way back down before in March things started to pick up. So again, there is important to notice that back in January, that looked big, and that volume is actually flatlined. There's nothing to it. Then in March, April, it started to go. May, it started to pick up, and it wasn't until June, July that we actually see a big wave of volume in comparison to over time. So again, if we are now November considering ourselves in these bottom formations and the potential for a bull run to start, then we've got December. It's never a good month for getting anything done. Everybody's busy with holidays and taking time off and family, and so the markets are probably not going to be going crazy in December. Then, well, they did last year. Then April, May. So we got November, December, January, February, at least till February, middle of January, if we're following along what this one did. And so there's a few examples of what might go on with the next bull market. Trying to get some idea by looking at the history, and then we can make some inferences about what might be coming up in the next while, in the future. So if I now go over here and take a look at Sia Coin, because Sia Coin did that big run in 2017, then we can pull this data back. I'll show you how I did it. I pulled this chart back, and then I pulled this forward so that we're in a much smaller time frame. Then I had to drag it back into March, a little bit back further, a little bit more. So here we are. We see a little bit of move in January, then things cooled off into March before a little bit of volume came in. And then when we pull this out, so we see January, February, March, the volume there is flatline in comparison. And then things, they picked up a little bit, but they went sideways for all of April and into May with one stage until the big wave came in the middle of May. So if we take a look at this price chart, we can see that prices were laying there flat, a little bit of a pump in January, came down, and then all the way through April, all the way into the beginning of May before we saw the stages of the price moving up and up and up again. So then the crossover on the other side of the top formation, when the moving averages crossover, is an obvious place to get out of the market. And that was 1,683% gain. So now for my own part, as I was starting to go through these coin market cap and look at what actually happened before the big bull run of 2017, now I'm starting to get a perspective of how long it's going to take and how patient I'm going to need to be with the positions that I've put on now. So I've got positions in all of these markets, and you can see what happened here in Stellar, 973% gain after the big peak. So this was easily 3,000% gain if you would have been able to just pick that candle and get out at the right time. That's lucky. If you've got some oscillator indicators, it may give you some heads up about that. Now let's go and see the coin market cap data for Stellar and change this one. I guess I have to do XLM for the coin market cap to understand me. How's it going, Hector? Good to see you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You look like it's a Bulgarian text. I can't read that language. Oh, let me share our Discord chat. If you are following this channel, there is a link to the Discord chat below, but I'm going to put it in here. I think that goes over to Twitch, and I'll put it in here. That goes to one of the streams that is running right now. I think that's good. And the other stream, you'll have to go into the description below the video, and there is a link to our Discord chat. So come and join us there. We've got conversation going on about cryptocurrencies all the time. So let's take a look at the coin market cap for this, and then I'll wrap it up and call it a day. Now, then I've hopefully this pattern, this idea of going through the markets and getting a picture in your mind of how long this is going to take is helpful, because it is important to be patient when this is all building up. So another thing I was watching for is, did the US price and the coin market cap diverge from the price, the Bitcoin price? So we can see the green line and the blue line are below the yellow line. And then over here, the blue and green line are above the yellow line. So that's a divergence where the coin market cap and the US dollar price was lower relative to Bitcoin, and then it was higher relative to Bitcoin. So if we're seeing that now in the alts as things are picking up, that is a good thing to notice. So as we stretch this out and we start to bring in the actual pump, now all that volume in March and April and on that move there looks like nothing. But again, we had the move. I'll pull this back just a bit. A little bit more. So we had this spike and things came back down, and then everything all started. So when the spike comes in and things settle back down, that's normal. And when it starts to go sideways for quite a while after that, and little pump, that's normal. Leave your position, don't jump in and out, and then there's going to be the big wave coming in if things turn out like they did last time. So if I zoom this in, slide it along, then we can go and start doing some testing to see what's going on here. So we've got the green and blue line hovering above and below, a little bit above the yellow line, then below it, and then staying below it as the yellow line has crossed over and is above the blue and green. So the price versus Bitcoin is higher than the price versus US dollar and the market cap. And if there's a bunch of them doing this, let's pull library credits over. And library credits may not be the best example, but we can see here that the price, the blue price, the market cap is flat with Bitcoin, and the US dollar price is above Bitcoin. So if that diverges in the next while, that's going to be a key indicator. Same thing with NXT. We'll just pull this over, and here we've got the green and blue below the yellow all the way along. What was it with, and it's opposite for library credits, and with Stellar it was green and blue above, and now they're below. How about Saya coin? Let's pull this one over. Get an idea what's coming on now. So the Bitcoin price is quite a bit higher than the market cap, and then it's come right against it, and then went higher again and has come back against it. So some of these things are awesome to study and watch. And so we could keep going on. If you want to get a copy of this spreadsheet with all of this back testing and all of this data for all three bull runs, be sure to head over to IntroToCryptos.ca and join the email list there. There's all sorts of free training and additional information and another webinar all about how to tell when the Bitcoin bull market really is starting, when the cryptocurrency bull market is actually starting. And it's based on this research of over 200 screenshots of doing back testing on the last three bull markets that we've seen in cryptos: March to July of 2017, December and January of 2017-18, and the little one in April and May of 2018, which is also really important because we don't want to be caught into a fake out breakout and then be holding for too long. So if I go over to Saya coin, just because it's one of our examples, go to the 1 year view, clean this stuff up, we see that in April and May, prices did a little bit of a run up, and then they went down, 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 down. And again, that moving average crossover is key to be getting out at the right time. And those moves were nothing like we saw in 2017. So here, 2017 is what we were looking at and watching the coin market cap before it really took off and went to extreme highs. There was another one here in December and January of 2018, and a smaller one here in March and April of 2018. So I did a study on all of the markets all the way along so that I could get a picture in my mind of how do they look at the beginning, how long do they take to manifest, and how much profit was actually made if you would have followed the simple trading plan that I teach over on Intro to Cryptos. And looking for a forecast for GByte, I don't know, and I'll be doing a forecast video a little bit later, but right now I just wanted to dig into the data on how to tell if this Bitcoin cryptocurrency bull market is actually starting. So we looked at the price charts, and we looked at the coin market cap, and we looked at how long it took, and we also looked at the difference in the volume of the trading at the beginning of the bull market and when the major phase of the bull market took off. And those three things all put together will give us insight about when it's starting now, how long it's going to take until the massive wave comes in, and how to tell by looking at the coin market cap, the trading volume, and the price chart patterns. So I'm grateful to have you guys here. I don't want to go on forever on this live stream. I wanted to be tight on the topic and answer the question, are we going to have another crypto bull run in 2018? I think it'll start now, but I don't think it's going to manifest all fully. I think we've got a few months yet for the whole thing to go as much as I want it to go. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm getting used to this streaming software, and I'll now double check to see how everything worked. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next live stream at 5 o'clock today in about 5.5 hours from now. And we're going to go over more details about cryptocurrency trading and some forecasts there. In fact, what I'm going to do is reveal what I did some studies this morning on Binance, and we went through and we found all of these cryptocurrencies that are looking pretty good, and I've done some studies here now to narrow it down with technical analysis to the very top coins. And then I'm going to do another live stream that talks about the top coins that are under 50 cents each. We're going to get down to some real details in these live streams, the real studies, because I want to make $1 million. And I'll let you guys go for now. All the best in your cryptocurrency trading.